And you can see that he's moving much slower on this edge. And then we're also not getting that issue anymore. So literally, the raycast. I can't believe that the raycast distance actually makes a big difference in it returning a collision or not. I mean, that makes sense, but we were already subtracting like a small float from the distance that we were doing. So basically, what this tells me is I need to increase the size of all my raycasts by a very small bit and deal with collisions that way. He's not getting stuck anymore. No more stuck for Fat Sack. He's no longer stuck Sack. He's just Fat Sack. Well, I just like that. You can move right into this wall, and then when you jump straight up, and he always lands on the corner. I just like that too. He's just like, nah, I can climb that wall, no problem. Bloop. Alright, so that fixes that little thing. So what we need to do is probably need to take note of that we need a bigger tiny float for our raycast for movement. And that's making a big difference. Yes, Fat Sack is actually a member of the ballet in Brackenwood. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. So it's gonna be hit distance minus this. It's actually gonna be we're gonna have to say like we're gonna have to say something like if the move distance is less than the hit distance, then we're actually fine. Then it's not, yeah. Alright, so we're going to try that real quick. I wonder exactly why that is. There's got to be some reason. I mean, it's either like all this stuff is really imprecise, or fundamentally, I'm kind of casting shots on the dark in this physics system. And I'm only getting lucky because with movement or something, because the scales I'm dealing with are large enough that none of these artifacts actually matter. Which, who knows? Might be right. Alright, so not a problem. It's just doing just fine. Alright, fine. Good. Good, that's what we needed. So that's fine. Cool. Alright, so that hit distance is working just fine. The outward nudge is also working just fine for this. So I didn't see any outward nudge fails, so we're just gonna stop the program, and actual move distance is, yeah, new position is this. So now what we need to do is we need to do the same thing for these other ray casts. So that should do that. Do we have another sweep down here? We just have like a snap to floor sort of thing. Cause that's our only sweep test for this other stuff. So we should no longer be getting stuck in things, is what I'm thinking. That might have unstuck us. So we're going to try now fixing all those things where we're jumping into platforms and moving along the ceiling, and then Fatsack freaks the hell out and ends up on top of the platform for some freaking reason. We'll see exactly why that is. So he is not ending up stuck in things anymore, but he's ending up just like you try to jump into a platform with Fatsack, and he just gets on top of it. He's amazing at it. He's just like, oh, you wanna move? Yeah, ah. Can't keep Fatsack down. He just he jumps, and then he just gets around the obstacle you want him to get around. But he's not getting stuck. And it looks like this is always the wrong direction. If I'm holding left like I was now, he got stuck on that one. Let's take a look at what happened to that jump. No, he was not stuck. We were exceeding our maximum iterations for physics updates. Alright, well, the first thing we should do is we should fix the direction of his motion. So we actually want to do this, like, negative velocity y. Yeah. It's like it's using some mega big velocity in the direction of motion just to be like, yeah. But if he's not getting stuck, that's good, because those like crazy substep iterations in the physics system are where you would expect like really nasty bugs with getting stuck inside of objects would happen. So I'm holding left. I think it's actually doing what it's supposed to. I think we're probably just returning the wrong. We're probably returning the wrong delta t for what we simulated during our sub-physics steps. And then we've got a few little bugs with our motion, because this is actually kind of fun. it's like Fat Sack is a piece of electricity, and he's just like, you can zip right around. You're just like, and go. Nice job. Get on top of that platform. You know, you can do it, Fat Sack. It's the impossible move. Ah, no, do it. He can just zip around. Nobody expects him to be able to do that. You can tell I'm just starting to lose focus and just fucking around now. I'm just like, yeah, Fat Sack, yeah, gas bag. See if we can glitch him all the way up on all the things. Set destination. Are you trying to move your character on a nav mesh, I guess? Let's see if we can get him to travel up. No, we can't get him to travel up. He just travels down. Because if you're trying to set a position of an object, it's probably Like destination be something else. Ah. Because I would assume you'd have to like have a nav mesh in a world, and you call set destination, and then it moves via the nav mesh to the destination or something like that. Look at that, he can zip into a tunnel. Just jump. Fat Sack has the air dash. I predict a super Fat Sack game. You might be right. Alright. No. Alright, so it looks like we also can't jump when we're holding the left key. If we're up against a platform, like we should jump straight up, but we're not. We're jumping to like the left. So we'll have to jump up and do that sort of thing, like put you in the air and then let you move. Actually, it's probably working, it's just putting you right back on the ground because of the other bullshit. Because if I jump without holding like that, he actually made it on top. Oh, shit. Yeah, that got us up there. So yeah, it's the movement along the platform based on our velocity that's screwed. Alright. Well, we can start debugging that thing then. We're down into the meat of it, it looks like. Cricket Bitey. But I'm going to go refill my water bottle. So I'll be right back. So let's go ahead and roll into kind of the last bits of streaming today. Probably. Been going for almost 8.5 hours, looks like. What is this crap? So, what is going on here? We need to figure out exactly what is going on with our. So we're just gonna do the first thing. We're just gonna like step through our code and make sure our code is doing what we think our code should be doing, because that's just what you do. The first thing that you check, if things aren't behaving like you think they are, make sure it's actually calling the damn function you think is calling, because most of the time that's your problem. Is you're like, oh, why isn't this working? You're like, well, none of your code's running. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Forgot to call my own function. So what are we doing here? We are jumping against a surface that looks, it's like a 45-degree surface, and Fatsek's jumping into it. So what should we be finding? Well, we should be finding that we collided, and then we're in this loop of trying to resolve the hits. So our normal is 0 vector, and what we're doing is we're sweeping from our new position in our new motion direction, our surface normal, our new motion direction. Wait, what the hell is going on here? Okay, we are trying to travel to the left. So our new motion direction is, we took our surface normal, looks like, when we rotated it, our surface normal was down and to the right. Now we have rotated this, and now it is down and to the left. Which is correct. Okay, good. We've normalized that vector as well. And the magnitude is new motion magnitude, which is dt times new velocity. New velocity is, so the magnitude of our velocity is our speed along the ground. That seems really fucking stupid. This is not the correct. Like our new velocity, like, sure, we've got z velocity, right? What we should actually be doing is the velocity along this vector should not be this fast. Like, we are pushing our heads against the ceiling at, with this velocity we want to go at, but then we're traveling in a direction that is completely tangent to where we're going. So like we hit this ceiling real hard, and then we just travel along it at the speed of light, pretty much. What we should be doing is taking, the motion needs to be different. This magnitude needs to be a different vector. What we need to do is, new motion magnitude should be this 0 vector to start with. And what we'd like to do is, if our velocity was to the right, well, basically we want to componentize it. So if our velocity was saying go to the right, then we should be able to travel along this thing to the right. And if our velocity was not, so it's going to be like if fmath, like the sine of our new velocity dot y is equal to the sine of our not our new collision normal, but our movement direction, then basically our new motion magnitude dot y is going to equal dt times new velocity dot y. What the fuck is this crap? Trying these different Spotify playlists for Twitch, and some of them are just Trash. Trash again. All trash. Fine, I'll find a new playlist later for some things. We'll just stick to the ridiculous, stupid ass chiptunes. Same thing as before. So if the signs are the same, then we're going to be able to travel in that direction along this thing. We're going to do the same thing for our z. So if the sign of our z is the same as this, then we should be able to travel along it. And we're giving the player a lot of leeway for moving. So if like you're holding to the left, even if you should be traveling to the right up the wall, you're not going to. You're going to kind of stop your momentum, I guess. In some ways. Well, No, we don't want to... This is not quite correct. This is not quite correct, is it? So if the signs are the same, what we're going to do is we're going to add... Are we just moving in the Y along this thing, and that's what we're doing? We're not moving in the Z? I mean, we would be moving in the Z if we did want to move in the Z direction, though. And we want to move in the Z direction by the component. So we're going to multiply the magnitude of our move is going to be our Z velocity multiplied by the Z direction. So if the sign of new velocity dot Z equals fmath sign of new motion vector dot Z, then we're going to say our new motion magnitude dot Z is going to be the new motion direction dot Z times the new velocity dot Z. New motion magnitude should be 0, and we should just be setting like plus equals on these. And we should be doing times dt here. Is this correct? It might be correct. Well, you can always pop into the Discord for Brackenwood, and if you know we're online in Discord, you can ask us questions and stuff there. Though I guess I shouldn't volunteer Caracan, so I will only give you permission to ask me questions. Let me see, what does Adam have for the Discord? I'll go take a look at his channel real quick. I should probably set Mobot to set that out there. So just keep in mind though that when I'm streaming I will not get any notifications on Discord. But that is a Brackenwood Discord channel, Nightfall. So most people in there are artists and things like that. Some people, you never know. There's some cool people. Alright, so our new motion magnitude is going to be in the negative, and our new velocity y is, the sign is not the same. So our new motion direction, because we're trying to travel down the slope, motion direction z is negative, and our thing is positive. So we're gonna expect that our new motion magnitude is very small, and it's gonna be to the left. So our magnitude is that our direction is going to be down and to the left. So we're gonna be moving down very slowly. But we actually also want to, we probably don't want to have this, we probably want to, if the new velocity is in like the other direction, we probably want to, you know, swap the direction. So if you're holding to the left and you jump into something like this, so like if you're holding left and you jump into something from the left, you're actually going to slide up the wall. Like you're going to want to go down the wall, but we're going to slide you up the wall because you still got vertical ups. So we actually want to take this and subtract the it's going to be negative new motion direction z and all that. I mean, what's our magnitude of our motion here anyway? It's like taking our velocity, and it's just velocity times delta t, so dt at this point is extra delta t is delta t minus sub delta t, which is fine. So we'll see. Let's get to fixing the physics. Das Physics. Like he moves just fine along that, you see, just like boom. And this is what you expect with his, you know, his vertical motion not being super ridiculously fast. But as soon as I hold in a direction, like it just freaks the frick out. So it's going to be the y. The y direction that we're doing something really weird with. Yeah. Time simulated is going to be, so we're doing fine with a lot of things. It's alright, well, let's just start printing crap out. So info log the movement magnitude is percent out. That's going to be the new motion magnitude. And let's do the on iteration percent %d. But he's not getting stuck on stuff. It's just we got some basic crap wrong. We're actually very close to having this work properly. So this new motion magnitude x. No, this is new motion direction. X, Y, Z. Alright, and we're gonna say like if collision distance is greater than far enough. If we are less than tiny float for a new motion magnitude, no, don't move. Sim time is delta t. Otherwise, yeah, let's just say on iteration, we are finished moving. And for this guy, in position equals new motion direction times new motion magnitude minus move tiny float. So it's going to be our new position, which we have set to here. New motion direction is normalized and all that fun stuff. New motion magnitude. So we are just going to say on iteration, we moved along our motion direction with no collisions on the sweep. So I assume you're in general chat or something like that. Yeah, Nightfall Gaming. There you are. Yeah, cool. Well, feel free to send me some messages. I will tell you if you're annoying and I don't want to talk to you ever again. I am kind of a jerk about things, so I'm usually very direct with people. If I don't want to talk to them, I'll just say, dude, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. So, it's all good. So, new motion direction. Alright, so check if stuck. We already have a little thing there for checking for stuck. Great. Alright, so time is delta t. So, we are going to be finished with this. And we should never actually reach this point in the code, so why don't we just chuck that right up there and just be like, we're done. We have moved our distance. Otherwise, actually both of these have the same, so instead we should just do this and be finished with that. Salty Captain? Oh, I can be salty. Like, you've seen me play Battle Brothers where I'm fucking hauling bags of salt around the entire country, pissed off about some bullshit attack some orc got on me. Okay, otherwise, what we're going to do is say... Yeah, I get a little pissed. I don't really care, though. That's kind of... I'm halfway just trying to play a character of somebody pissed off all the time. But it's not really pretending. It's kind of true a lot of the time. Anyway, so we're rotating our vector... Ooh, yeah, this is wrong, isn't it? We negated this new motion direction by our... so this little dude's gonna freak us the hell out. So the simulated time is going to be new collision distance divided by new motion magnitude, which is correct. I know what you mean, yeah. New collision distance is less than tiny float. Then in position equals new position. Otherwise, we're going to move to the new position. Cool. So we struck an object during our normal sweep. And you're having some computer problems there. You sure your name's not Karakan? Alright, update snap to floor. That's if we're landing. So we landed on something solid. Cool. Yeah, ouch! Oh yeah. Talking about salt, we're just rubbing it in at this point. Alright, so otherwise we're going to set ourselves to our end position because it's not a landable thing. So we're going to move, check if stuck. If we're stuck, we're going to complain very loudly about it. Otherwise, we need to figure out what we're doing. So used to much worse from Adam. Alright, good. And again, our new motion direction is totally frickin' backwards from what we want. So, we should do some of those things, but I think we've also got a problem here with our motion direction magnitude. So, I think we need to do the same thing here and set do we need to multiply our motion direction by the actual y value on the normal? So if like you're holding left and you hit something, you shouldn't, like if you hit a flat wall, if you jumped into it, if you're holding the left key, you shouldn't just slide down the wall. Like it should be a 0. And if it's a 45-degree angle and you run into it, we should be moving in the y direction. I mean, well, there's an argument to be made we should be moving in the y direction as far as we can, but maybe we should never be moving negative. We should be moving positive. So if you like jumped into something, sliding along it should be difficult. I don't know. Why don't we just try doing the motion direction.y and see how it looks. And if our signs are different, then maybe we should travel in the opposite direction. Do kind of the same thing with the negative new motion direction.y. See how it is. We'll see how it is. We'll check these things as we go along. So it's taking the overhead surface as a new floor and continues to move left along it. It's not actually attaching itself as like a new floor. We have some special rules here. We're basically trying to travel along the ceiling, but we're not sticking to the ceiling. We're kind of just moving along it. We're trying to glide a little bit. When we're on the floor, like we're really trying to stick to the floor. But when we're in the air here, we're just kind of trying to get us close to the ceiling and move along it, and give the player as much control as we feel comfortable with. On iteration 113127122. Oh, Jesus Christ. On iteration -103 blah 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 blah. Movement magnitude is horrible. Alright. Alright, we're gonna need to take off some of this other debugging code that's freaking me out. So line 302 and 301 and 303. We'll chuck that out of here. Make it look easy? I mean, it really isn't that much code for moving stuff. The only reason it's not super simple is like we're living in an analog world in Brackenwood here. Otherwise, we could make like a a physics tile map, and then it would just be like, well, can we move into this cell? And you'd just be like, you'd have like in a physics tile map, it's kind of like you've got these grid squares, and maybe a character exists kind of like this, and you'd be like, oh, well, you can't move into this grid square, so you would put, the object would just be on top and stuff like that. But we're not doing that because I don't want to make Adam deal with that crap. Adam is the artist and also primary designer. So let's see. On iteration 0. So 881. .881 is not giving us the right thing. Yeah, movement code in platformers is always crazy. There's a million different ways to do it. Every platformer probably implements it a little bit differently. We're just going for a very specific type of motion on our characters, so blah. Alright, so 881 is where we're looking. Movement magnitude. I'm always seeing the movement magnitude as a 0 in the log, which is... Well, yeah, I guess this makes sense. I'm overflowing what I'm working on there. Let's just make sure iteration is in these log lines. It is not. Okay, that makes sense why this stuff is all garbage data. It's because it's garbage data. So much garbage. Yeah, like this is garbage here. That's one of the things I like about other languages. You don't get crap like this where we're off by one with like our frickin' printups and our var args for our dumbass functions that we're using. Oh yeah, like that's that's part of why Unreal 3 to Unreal 4 there's no like Unreal script anymore. There's blueprints and there's C++, and that's because people were just getting so sick of dealing with just Unreal script and faux code that they're just like, just give me C++. If you're gonna let me write code, just let me write C++, please, for the love of Christ. Dragging around a whole bunch of random crap and dealing with limitations of some language that is not real can just be a real pain in the ass. I have not used the blueprint system enough to have a strong opinion about it either way. Since I've just been doing C++ code. I don't use blueprints, I'm an engineer. Alright, our magnitude is 0.15. Our movement direction is negative on iteration 0. It looks like we're never getting out of iteration 0. So we're only iterating once, which is good, that's what we want. And we are moving, our movement magnitude is pretty small. Well, then why the hell are we freaking out and flying all over the world here? Because if our movement magnitude is that small, then we should just be moving a very small amount. And we shouldn't be like glitching through shit. Alright, so our magnitude is 1.2. DT cannot possibly be 0. Extra delta t. Alright, dt is just really close to 0. So we did not. So new motion magnitude is 1.2 minus tiny float. Oh, well here's what we're... Is that what we're having problems with? It's new motion direction, which is fine, so new position is that. Like, we're not moving that far. And sim time is delta t. Okay, what's probably happening here is our sim time is wrong, so what we should also do is we should put in another like %d here and grab the process frame. And it's probably that we got our times wrong, which was my first inclination. But I'm just going through the process. Let's not freak out about wasting our lives for no reason. Let's just accept that we will waste time. Iterations, good. All right. So yeah, sim time equals sub delta t plus dt simulated. Is dt simulated in this case? Looks like basically all these things, we shouldn't be setting this, we should do like dt simulated equals our time here. So it's like dt sim, because we're not exiting the loop. So what we want to check is wherever we're setting sim time. Okay, so that's good. What's dt simulated? It's going to be delta t plus equal actual times simulated, which is dt times collision distance. So dt minus equal actual times simulated. dt sim plus equals, that's about right. And these are just like, if we're done, we're done, so just set it to finished. So, should be close enough. Maybe. I will take care, Karakan. You have a good one. Thanks for stopping by and being a positive person. I just need more people who are fun to hang out with. And my friend Steve at Amazon just told me he's using my old username. He's using whenever he does anything that he thinks like people get pissed about at Amazon. So because your name is still in the databases and all that crap as a developer, so he's using my name for all the stuff. He's like, oh man, who checked this in? Oh, Kirk Sexton? Yeah, screw that guy. Like, it was actually Steve. Freaking Steve. Alright, so... yeah. That's fine with me. He can have fun. So dt simulated is going to be delta t. So sub delta t plus dt